Hello, my name is David McKee and I am Head of Health and Physical Education at Stranmillis University College, and I also head up the BSc in Health, Physical Activity and Sport. The programme does basically what it says on the tin. We have elements that cover health with a particular focus on health promotion across the life course. We do physical activity looking at its interaction with health, and also looking at physical activity and its role within sport. We're trying to promote physical activity for all sections of the population from the cradle to the grave, and then finally we look at sport. Now students who undertake the BSc programme will undertake a range of sports as they make their way through from first through to third year. And we're interested in folks who are trying to pursue a career in education, in health promotion, in sports science, sports development, or in coaching. The structure of the department has my face up at the top there. I think that maybe was a more youthful model, but there we are. And we have Melanie McKee as a programme leader, and then we have a team of 4 lecturers. And in actual fact, all of us, all 6 of the academic staff, teach on the programme, and that is the programme's greatest strength. And we are a small team who actually really care about students and about students' welfare and student outcome. You will never be an anonymous person in a class of 200. In all likelihood, in first year, there are approximately 30 students come onto the programme, and in second year, they're joined by a further 10 who come from our foundation degree in conjunction with Belfast Met. We have some fantastic facilities here on Stranmillis. The Stranmillis campus itself is absolutely beautiful, sitting very close to the centre of Belfast, and yet sitting in approximately 40 acres of parkland. Many of our classes take place in the Orchard building here, which is approximately 10 years old. It's an award-winning eco building. A lot of credit for the steps that were taken during the design phase to minimise its environmental impact. We also use the facilities at Queen's, particularly the PEC, for some of our swimming programmes. And for 2021-22, we have planning permission for a new 3G pitch at the back of the Orchard building and refurbished tennis courts. So we're looking forward to getting those floodlit facilities developed. And if you come and do this programme, I am confident by the time you come here, those facilities will be operational. What might you actually study if you choose to do the BSc programme? Well, in common with most UK university courses, it's 3 years full time. You're going to do 18 modules, the equivalent of 6 per year, and we've structured the course so that in first year all students must do all modules, whereas in second and third year we have a mix of compulsory and optional modules. So in first year you will undertake modules from health, physical activity, sport, and some on business as well, and we'll have a look at those as I make my way through to the next slide. So what do you do in first year? These are the individual modules that a student would actually take. In terms of health, we'd look at contemporary issues in health, which is a health promotion module. We'd look at body systems, which is looking at the anatomy and physiology of the body with a particular focus on exercise. The introduction to nutrition, which is looking at nutrition for health. Then in business, students undertake a half module in Introduction to Organisations, and then in the sport and physical activity section, folks do a practical module in Practical Studies 1, which looks at how you would teach and coach a range of practical sporting activities, swimming, rugby, etc., to children and young people. You will also do sport and exercise psychology and sociology of health. And those who are smart will notice that I said you would do 6 modules, but there are 7 modules listed on the slide, and it's because the 2 modules, organisations and sociology of health and sport, are half modules. First years, we recognise that the transition to higher education is challenging for many students, and we offer a lot of support to try and help students to make the transition from being in a very highly structured school-like environment and moving towards the higher education environment. And to help with that, we take students on a year 1 residential team building. And you can see here students doing these typical activities you might do if you're team building: canoeing, zip lining, and then some less traditional. In this one here, students had to build their own burger and then cook it, and they were working in teams to try and produce the best burger. The point is, the task doesn't really matter. The point is that it was an opportunity for students to get together and get to know each other and to form effective working relationships with each other in a non-academic setting. And we find that when we do the residential trip, generally the first years gel better as a result of that. In addition to that, first years have personal tutors to help them, and we run a series of events to try and help first years manage the transition from school to higher education. In second year, there are a range of modules for students, and you'll notice that there are far more than 6, and that is because only these 2 modules, Introduction to Research Methods and Work Placement and Health and Safety, are compulsory, and they are 2 half modules that are compulsory. The remainder of the modules are optional, and this is the start of students deciding what is their career aspiration and what they want to do. So if you're really keen on going on to do a PGCE and become a teacher or go into sports development, you might well do practical studies too. If you're interested in sports development, you might do sport in the community. And sport in the community is a module designed to help people start to think about what actually happens in sports development and what are the purpose of sports development. And then the other various modules fall under our strand of health and management. There is also the option in the second semester of second year to undertake a period of study in a European university, and this is a fantastic opportunity. There is some funding available to help support it, and students who undertake of this, they finish with Stranmillis at the end of the first semester, which is Christmas, and then in early January they go to a university which is typically either in Austria or in Malta, and you stay there for the semester. And please don't panic. The universities are chosen because they teach their courses in English, and you do a course which is very closely allied to ours, but you do it in a different country, so it gives you a different perspective on what's going on. In terms of the work placement, where have people gone in terms of the work placement? Some folks have gone to work at Sport NI, some folks are working in schools under the auspices of the Education Authority, some folks go to the Health and Social Care Trust to work in health promotion, Disability NI, and then these are our 2 partner universities that we work with on the international programme. So a lot of opportunities for people if they choose to engage with them. In third year, oh my goodness, it's hard to believe you're in third year already. Everybody has to do a dissertation, which is an 8,000 to 10,000 word research project, and you get allocated a tutor who will guide you through that process. And the remainder of the modules are optional. And again, you can see this is to facilitate students who have a particular interest. And again, if you're interested in the practical side of things, you would do Practical Studies 3. If you're interested in health, you would do Health Promotion and Professional Practice, etc. The project management is a particular favourite of mine. In this module, the students design, plan, implement and evaluate a range of health promotion activities to try and encourage staff and students on campus to be more active, to eat better, etc., to manage stress. And I think it's a great thing. It's a great showcase for the programme because it shows that the students are actually applying what they've learnt in a real life situation, and they try and encourage other folks on college campus to be healthier. In the dissertation then, this is the final activity that these particular students did as part of their degree, and they present their research to the rest of their class and to the academic team, and we give them some marks for that there. But really it's a fantastic event because it's the final assessed element of the programme, and the students then, when they've finished with that, all the assessment, all the teaching is over, and generally then they go out and have a bit of a party or whatever, assuming that COVID isn't still with us. How do we assess students? Because obviously you're thinking, oh my goodness, what are we going to do? Am I going to be able to study at undergraduate level? You can see from the slide, we use a wide range of assessment, and we're routinely praised for that from our external examiner who evaluates the programme for us on a yearly basis. Essays, lab reports, self-evaluation, peer evaluation, peer teaching to your peers, examinations, presentations, like this, standing and presenting, producing research-informed webinars, research-informed podcasts, etc. There is a wide range of assessment used, and you will do it on your own, Occasionally you will do it in partners, and occasionally you'll do it in groups. But the goal is to try and give students the opportunity to display their learning to the highest level that they have. How did students do then in 2020? We had 3% of students got a first, 71% of students got a 2-1, 26% of students got a 2-2, and nobody got a third, a pass or a fail. All the students managed to get through. The numbers vary slightly year on year. Sometimes we get a few more firsts, sometimes we get a few less 2-1s, but in general that is the pattern, that students typically get first, 2-1, 2-2s, very occasionally a third, and somebody who gets a third in the main has done very little work on their way through their degree programme. What happens then 15 months after graduation? The employment stats. These are the most recent ones that are currently available for the cohort who graduated in 2017-18. We're waiting for the next cohort to come through, but the data hasn't been published yet. And you'd think I'd made the numbers up because they're so rounded. The 75% are in employment, 25% are in further study, and those are publicly published statistics. They're not just made up. So we're quite positive about that. Those who choose to finish the programme and then go into employment, they get employment. Those who choose to go on to further study, to do a master's or to do a PGCE to qualify them to teach, they're successful in doing that. And we have a lot of support in college to help people achieve that through our career service and the individual tutors who teach on the programme. What do you need if you want to get in? These are the current qualifications, and actually your best bet is to click on the college website, and there is a link in the PowerPoint to do that, or if you do a Google search for undergraduate admission Stranmillis, it'll bring you up what the qualifications are at that point in time, and these are typical entry qualifications to enable students to gain access to the course. What do people do afterwards? Interestingly, when students first come to us, somewhere in the region of a half to 2/3 would say they want to go on and be a teacher, either a primary teacher or a post-primary PE teacher. And somewhere in the region of a quarter of the students actually go on to do that. And that's not because they can't get a place on a PGCE course. It's because as a result of doing the BSc programme, they've decided that actually they don't want to be a teacher anymore. They'd like to work in health promotion. They'd like to work in sports development. Some folks go on then and do MSc programmes in health promotion, sports psychology, strength conditioning, and even actually there's a physiotherapy course. There are a number of physiotherapy courses in England that you can transfer to as a master's programme and become a qualified physiotherapist. Some folks go and work in community health. Some work in the fitness industry, some work with health charities promoting health and well-being. Some folks work in sports development, either with the local councils or with the sports governing bodies, the IFA, the GAA, etc. So there's a wide range of things, and normally when I'm talking to prospective students, I would say to you, the greatest strength of this programme is its breadth. You could go off and end up working in marketing if you really decided that's what you wanted to do, because you would choose your modules and you would choose your placement to support that, or you could end up being a primary school teacher if that's what you wanted to do. That is also its greatest limitation, because I cannot say to you straight here in the box, come and do this course and you will definitely end up being a primary school teacher, because that's not true. So you, as you make your way through the programme, would decide what is the career that you want to do, and then we will help you to fulfil your career aspirations. What have students said about us? They like that we supply good learning resources. They like the orientation and induction week. They say we're good for pastoral support. They like the practical nature of many of the learning activities, both in practical studies and indeed in the academic modules. They like the range of assessment methods, and they like the fact that it is well-organised timetable. We try our best not to bring students in for a single hour. Small class sizes, and they also like that in common with all Queen's undergraduate degrees, first year only counts for 10% of the degree classification. So it's to help students with that transition from school to higher education. Some students thought maybe that they prefer not to have exams, and my response to that is tough. There will be some exams as you make your way through, and that's where we're at. And a minority of students said they prefer not to have breaks between classes, but the breaks between classes are important for socialisation and for rest between the academic areas. But if you're looking at that in the round, students are positive. The areas for development are relatively modest, relatively modest. What did the National Student Survey say then? The National Student Survey is a series of questions that are sent to every final year student in the UK, and it is the same questions for all undergraduate programmes. And Stranmillis traditionally has done incredibly well on this programme, as indeed has the BSc, and you can see that the overall satisfaction is sitting at close to 95%, and then you can make your way down through teaching on the course, learning opportunities, assessment and feedback, etc. And you can see that typically the scores are all above 80%. In other words, the vast majority of students are very happy with what's being delivered to them as part of the programme, and that's their choice. We have no input into that. It's a nationally organised survey, and the students fill in their answers, and then we get the results. And we also get some direct quotes from the students, those who choose to put them in, and these are quotes from the National Student Survey. You look up on the top. The student liked that there was a wide range of subjects available for students to choose according to the direction of career they seek. And I couldn't have put that better myself. You decide what career you want to fulfill from this, and then we will support you with the modules and your placements. The tutors make you feel at home during course. They're very encouraging, and support is always there if it's required. And we would pride ourselves on that. We are actually interested in the students that we teach, and we want them to do well. Very interesting academic modules covering a wide range of assessment, making it work for everyone, and the staff are friendly and easy to approach. And I promise you, I didn't make those up. I actually cut and paste them from the NSS. That is what the last cohort of students said. And if you're interested in the National Student Survey in the PowerPoint, you can click on this link and it'll take you through, and you can see what the students said about the various elements of the various programmes at Stranmillis. We also have a Students' Union. This is the current Students' Union exec. You can see they're a little bit more bright and colourful than I am. And the Students' Union is here for everyone in college, including students on the BSc. And it's there to provide a voice for students. And as I said at the bottom of the tagline here, it's run by the students for the students, and the Students' Union have a wide range of inputs into various elements of the academic programme, including staff-student consultative committees where the staff and students talk about the course and try and make it as good as we possibly can. But the Students' Union is there for everyone, including the BSc students, and will also give you help and advice in terms of careers and give you opportunities to engage in a range of extracurricular activities. And indeed, students who are on the BSc programme here have the right to play for Queen's teams. If you're a high performer, you're welcome to play for Queen's teams. Does that mean that you have to be sporty to do the programme? No, because if you've looked at the modules, you'll see a minority of the modules are actually to do with practical sports. Do you need to have an interest in young people and well-being? Yes, you do. Any more information? We have a very comprehensive website which has been recently redesigned, and we'd encourage you to click on the link and you'll find the BSc Health, Physical Activity and Sports section, and I am confident that it will answer almost all queries that you have. Thank you very much.